Hey everyone, welcome to a special edition of the BarDown podcast. It's Luca, Jesse, and Pock here. This is Olympics week. We officially get kicked off with the women's tournament. We're super pumped, and we've got a few interviews for you featuring various members of our team done over Zoom and done over camera with Celebrini in Calgary. There are lots going on here. But if you click the title of this video, you saw that we were interviewing Columbus Blue Jackets Director of Hockey Ops, Rick Nash. We were interviewing Minnesota Golden Gopher and Team USA star Abbey Murphy. And we've got Macklin Celebrini. We all know about him on the podcast
this week.
So we've got a ton of great stuff to get to. Yeah, how are we feeling about all this? I don't know.
Pumped, man. It was
awesome.
great to talk to some of these guys. And, I mean, Rick Nash in particular, who has been to Olympics. He's still working with the Columbus Blue Jackets. I did not know that he was actually on that 2016 before we chatted with him. And he was
three Olympics for him.
And he was the youngest player on that team by far, which is kind of similar to how Macklin Celebrini is this year. So cool to have some parallels there. We asked Nash about that. Obviously, we talked to Celebrini about how he's feeling about these upcoming Olympics. Yeah, it's going to be a fun one.
Yeah, Celebrini, friend of the program. We've done some work with him. So happy for the guy. I mean, what an accomplishment at his age to be doing what he's doing. Not just in the NHL, but I mean, to be able to go to the Olympic stage. Guys, like, think about what you were doing in your life when you were 19. I was still living in Winnipeg when I was 19 years old. That's crazy to think about. So, I don't know. It's pretty amazing to think about, and he's got so many more Olympics ahead of him. So we could be talking about Macklin Celebrini if all things go right. This guy could play in like 5 Olympics potentially. So
Abbey Murphy could probably do the same for the States as well. She is incredible. Obviously had a great rivalry series. She's done unbelievable things at the University of Minnesota. That incredible assist that we all saw that went viral. Talked to her about that, how she's feeling going into these Olympics. She has experience playing in the Olympics already. She played for the team in 2022. Also asked her about Hillary Knight's last Olympics and what she's meant to the program and to her, and bringing her under her wing. So a lot of great conversations coming up. Let's kick things off with Rick Nash. Then we'll go to Abbey Murphy and then finish it off with Macklin Celebrini.
All right, welcome into the podcast now. Canadian Olympian and member of the Columbus Blue Jackets, Rick Nash. Rick, thanks so much for joining us today. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me. Looking forward to talking some hockey and most of all Olympic hockey.
Yeah, the Olympics coming up is obviously a huge point of excitement. I want to talk to you about your Olympic journey. You're obviously a 3-time Olympian, gold medalist in 2010 and 2014. First of all, just walk me through the feeling of winning a gold medal, especially in the nature that, both those teams won.
Yeah, it's honestly one of the career highlights of my hockey career is playing international hockey and playing for Team Canada. In 2006 with so much disappointment in Torino, and having to answer the bell, at the next Olympics, not only was gold medal the only option, but you were playing in your home country as well. And it was such a relief and a celebration and a weight off everyone's shoulders on that team. It was incredible. It honestly is things that you play road hockey growing up and you pretend you're playing for Team Canada in the Olympics in your home country, and you get to win a gold medal, and lucky enough I was part of that team.
I want to ask you about the 2006 games in Torino. You were one of the youngest players on that team by a pretty big margin too. I believe you were 21 or 22, and the next youngest guy was 25 or 26. And it's kind of similar to how this team's built this year, with Macklin Celebrini being a teenager, and then the team being comprised of mostly veteran players that have that experience. What was that kind of experience like for you as such a young player, and what would you say to a guy like Macklin, who is in similar shoes this year?
Yeah, well, obviously, Macklin's having an incredible season, and he's been fun to watch. But from my personal experience, playing on that 2006 team, I was almost in awe. I had posters of most of these guys on my bedroom wall growing up, and next thing you know, I'm tying my skates right beside them. I got to play on a line with Jerome McGinley and Joe Sakic, which was, incredible, things that I would have never dreamed of growing up. But, getting a chance to play on that team, I think it was kind of a shifting of the guard for Hockey Canada, and I think they wanted to make sure they had some young guys there to gain some experience off these older guys that have been through 2002 in Salt Lake City, and moving on with the Olympic Games there. And I think it's the same thing. This upcoming season, I think Hockey Canada does a great job of making sure they bring some young guys to gain some experience. And in this case, I'm sure Macklin's going to have a big impact on the outcome of some of the games. But if there was one piece of advice, that I wish I would have done is number one is just kind of pick the brains of some of the older guys and the coaches, and not be so intimidated of them. And the second thing would be just to enjoy everything that the Olympics has to offer. When you go to a World Championships or a World Junior Championships, it's all hockey all the time. And going to the Olympics, he's going to be around a ton of different athletes, a ton of different sports, being in the village, going to the dining hall, and just to pick the brains of other athletes, it would be my only piece of advice.
Yeah, what's it like in the Olympic Village? Obviously, you kind of got three different experiences in three very different countries, going to Italy, and then obviously at home here in Vancouver, and then in Russia. How is the whole Olympic Village experience like? Are you just walking by other athletes kind of in the area, or how's that like?
Yeah, you know what? It's really cool. They kind of section off, all the different countries into the different buildings, and then there's common spaces for your country, and then there's common spaces for everyone as well to kind of go hang out and get away from sport for a little bit. The dining hall is always the fun part, where you get to see other athletes eating and kind of in conversation and go up to other athletes and chat with them a bit. But it was always pretty special to kind of watch these different sports on TV, and the next thing you know, you're going for breakfast and you're sitting beside the guy that just won a gold medal, or the guy that missed out, or the girl that missed out. So it is a really cool feeling in the village. And there's only one consistent thing between all three of the villages at the three different Olympics that I went to, and that was McDonald's. It is true they got a full service McDonald's in there. The hockey players stayed away, but it's funny, once people are done their competition, which is sometimes on day one of the Olympics, you start to see McDonald's get a little more action.
Yeah, did you get a chance? I guess the men's hockey runs pretty much right to the last day, so probably no chance to check out a McDonald's in Italy or McDonald's in Russia for you guys.
Yeah, it was interesting that I heard some of the guys on some of the different countries are going over early to take part in the opening ceremonies. And we came in, I think, 7 days late to Vancouver, and then in Sochi, and we got to miss out on that. And then we were basically right out after winning both of those. I know a couple of the local guys got to take part on the closing ceremonies, but just to be part of the Olympics, what a special event. I wish we got to take part in the opening and the closing to just have the full experience. But to answer your question, I think there was a few late night trips on off nights over to the dining hall to grab some McFlurries. It wasn't me, but I heard some other guys doing it for sure.
Love it. Love to hear that. Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about the NHL, talk about the Columbus Blue Jackets. You've been a member of that organization or affiliated for, you were drafted when the organization was only, what, a year or two old, and you're still there in the front office. How have you kind of seen hockey in Columbus shift over the last 20 years or so, going from it being brand new to now having, such a very passionate fan base that we're also familiar with in the NHL?
Yeah, so we're actually celebrating our 25th anniversary this year with the CBJ. And it's a great question, because I'm sure it's something that you and your viewers and your listeners can kind of appreciate, is that me growing up in Toronto, I never got anywhere close to a Maple Leaf, and a Maple Leaf had celebrity status in my opinion growing up, a professional athlete in Toronto, let alone a hockey player. And when I got drafted to Columbus in 2002, it was a totally different feel. We had to sell the game. We had to make sure we were getting season ticket holders, and that was different to me. You had to put yourself out there and interact with fans, interact with kids. And I feel like some markets you just don't have to do that. There's waiting lists for season tickets, and that's not the case in Columbus. And one of the things that I'm most proud of now is just kind of how the guys from the early years and Doug McLean and Dave King really grew the game here from the grassroots level. And, we have a great minor hockey system now with a great AAA program. My kids are part of the minor hockey association here in Columbus, and, I'm helping out coaching. So it's a good question, because I do take a lot of pride in where hockey has come to in Columbus. And, I'm just, I really believe that if we put a consistent playoff team out there and we have a run, it's even going to blow up even more.
Yeah, I mean, from my memory growing up, watching Blue Jackets when they're in the playoffs, it just seems like the city just buys in, and just when the cannon's going and everything, it just seems like an electric atmosphere. You mentioned minor hockey and the growth of minor hockey in Columbus, which is great to hear. You grew up in the GTA, you played in the GTHL. I have your stats from, I believe, your U15 or U16 season with the Marlies. 34 games played, 61 goals, 54 assists, 115 points. They're just crazy to read off. I guess my question is, when growing up playing minor hockey, did you sort of realize, like, okay, I have a real shot here to make this a career, to play at a professional level?
Yeah, well, first of all, I think that was kind of the start of the internet to the public, and hockey DB and elite prospects. So I feel like those numbers have to be doctored. I don't remember scoring that many goals those years, but I'm still buddies with my coach Keith Kerrigan, so I'll have to mention it to him and see if he has any true numbers. But growing up in the GTA, in Brampton, and playing for the Marlies, I didn't appreciate how good the hockey was when I was young. Now being kind of an outsider, and putting my kids through the Columbus Minor Hockey Association, it's just different. We had so much good competition within a 2-hour radius that it was incredible to grow up there and play hockey. And I miss those days, but at the same time, I'm grateful that I got a chance to play for some great organizations. And from whenever I could go outside and stick handle to put a pair of skates on, I always wanted to be a hockey player, and that was my dream. And you look at the analytics of kids that actually make it. I was very lucky. A lot of things had to go right, and a lot of timing, good timing situations, and getting drafted by London and a good opportunity, and drafted by Columbus, a good opportunity. So so many things have to go right, but I was lucky, and I got to live my dream out.
Yeah, you've gotten to play with some really cool organizations. Obviously, the Toronto Marlies in the GTHL are one of the most legendary ones. And then, like you said, London Knights, Columbus Blue Jackets, New York Rangers. One team that you spent some time with during those lockout years was HC Davos. And I wanted to ask you how that whole experience was playing international hockey. I believe at least one of the years you played with Jumbo Joe as well there. How was that?
Yeah, no one ever really asks me about that, but it was one of the coolest experiences we've ever had. And me and Jumbo went over both years. So we went over in '04 lockout, and then 2012 lockout. It was incredible. I mean, I truly wish that every NHL player had the chance to go over to the Swiss League or European League and play the game, because you really have kind of the soccer atmosphere, and the smoke bombs and the flares and the chanting the whole game and up and dancing, and it was incredible. And both years, obviously, Davos hosts the Spangler Cup, which Team Canada puts a team in every year. One of the oldest hockey tournaments, and one of the coolest, the cathedrals of hockey arenas. It's incredible. And that was a little weird playing against Team Canada as you're wearing a Swiss club team jersey, but I made lifelong friends. I made, honestly, lifelong experiences playing in Switzerland. The lifestyle is great. You're right up in Davos, tucked in the Swiss mountains. Me and Jumbo had a blast, and if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing, other than probably playing NHL hockey instead of going over there. But I'm glad we got the experience.
Yeah, especially with a character like Jumbo, that I can only imagine the stories and the experience that was. I wanted to ask you about your number, 61. It's one where I think now if you ask someone to name someone who wore 61, Rick Nash is probably the first player that comes to everyone's mind. How did you land on that? Did you always wear that growing up, or did it just kind of stumble upon once you got older?
Yeah. So funny enough, playing for the Marlies, I always wore number 13 for Matt Sundin. Obviously, he was one of my favorite players growing up. And once I got drafted to London at the time, Don Brankley, the trainer there, made me aware that they don't allow 13 at the time because it was a bad luck number. So at that time, I said, well, I'll take 16. I wore 6 growing up a little bit. 16, my birthday's June 16th. Let's just go with 16. And he made me aware that veteran already had number 16. So at that point, I got 2 numbers denied. And I just told Branks, throw any number in my stall tomorrow for first skate for training camp. So I showed up in the morning and went to my stall, and 61 was sitting there. And he came over and he said, I just flipped 16 and you have 61. So that's how it happened. Funny enough, Matthew Albiani was the player that had 16. He ended up getting traded, a couple months into the season, and the trainer asked me if I wanted to switch to 16. And by that point, I was having a good year, and a lot of different things. My mom was born in 1961, and just a lot of 61s started to pop up, reasoning wise. So we just stuck with it.
Pretty crazy how, things work out in the end, and you made it such an iconic number. I wanted to ask you about some of the legendary players you played with over the course of your career. Obviously, there's so many. One in particular was Sergei Fedorov. I'm starting to doubt whether this is true or not now that you cast some doubt upon your Marley stats, because this is also something I found on a Hockey DB website. Sergei Fedorov, one of the years in Columbus that you played with him, they've listed his position as both forward and defense. Is it true that he played defense with you one season? A little bit of it, at least.
That's 100% more true than probably my numbers at U15 or U16. So Ken Hitchcock was the coach, and Sergey was obviously playing forward. I think it was me, Sergey, and David Vyborny, a Czech player who had incredible skill. And I think we ran into some injury problems. And again, I don't know what the CBA was at the time, and calling guys up and this and that. But I think, between Hitch and Sergey, they decided that Sergey was going to go back and play D, and that's 100% true that he played at least a handful of games, maybe more, at the defense position. I mean, it's Sergei Fedorov. This guy, just seeing all the memories of his number just getting retired, and just thinking how special it was that I actually got a chance to play with him. It was incredible. I wouldn't be surprised if he put on the goalie gear and could play goalie as well.
I mean, when it comes to style and skill, Fedorov's probably one of the most iconic players in NHL history. Got a couple more for you. One thing I find when people talk about you and your career and the mark you left on the game, whenever there's a young and upcoming prospect who is a big power forward, size, speed, can score, I feel like your name is always brought up as a comparison. When you watch NHL hockey now, are there any players that come to mind that kind of remind you of the style of game that you played, that physical power forward, but can also score with the best of them?
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting. I feel like when you came in the league in 2002, you had to be a power forward to kind of, unless you were a special guy like Crosby or Marty St. Louis. It was a different league back then where you had to be able to kind of be big, strong, and score. I always liked a guy like John LeClair, that type style of player. But now as I watch the game and see different players, obviously we have a prospect, Caden Lindstrom, who's playing at Michigan State, and I can kind of see a lot of myself in him when I watch him play. We just made a trade for Mason Marchment. I think he's a big power forward that plays hard and has a lot of skill. I like to think I was as tough as a Sam Bennett and made some hits like that, but we know that's not true. But so I feel like the power forward's actually coming back a bit. I feel like it went missing for a little bit, and I think fighting was down and all that different stuff in the game. But I truly feel Florida's kind of been on this run of a hard-nosed team to play against, and I feel like power forwards are kind of coming back with an impact, big guys that have good hands, can skate and score.
Yeah, especially, I mean, now there's for a while there was such an emphasis on speed, but when you see the guys with size and that can do both, it really proves to be such a valuable player. I'll leave you with one last question, and we got to talk Blue Jackets. The cannon. I feel like there's been so many clips of the cannon just scaring people. I don't know where you're sitting on game days, but has the cannon ever startled you in your time with Columbus?
It startles me more now being upstairs in the press box than it did when I was on the ice. But it's funny. Aaron Portsline, who's our team writer here, he just actually wrote an article about the cannon and all the history, and it's a pretty impressive story of how it all came about, and the different guys it's scared over the years. Obviously, Johnny Hockey had a funny relationship with the cannon, and that's always fun to visit. It's funny. Every team you talk to comes in as a visitor. Everyone just can't stand the cannon, and that's what makes that's kind of the sweet thing about it. Is what makes it great is that it's part of our identity now, and the more you hear that, the more things are going good in Nationwide Arena.
Great stuff. I mean, I'm not in the arena, and when I watch on TV, it startles me. So there you go. That's the effect that it has. Rick, want to thank you for taking the time today to join us, talking Olympics, talking Blue Jackets. Wishing you best of luck the rest of the season, and enjoy watching Team Canada as well.
Yep, should be fun. It's nice that NHL players are back, but it was great questions, and it was fun chatting hockey with you.
Pleased to be joined by Team USA and Minnesota Golden Gophers forward Abbey Murphy. Thank you so much for joining us. Crazy, crazy time in the hockey calendar, I guess, with you guys are rolling. USA Olympic team is right around the corner for Milan. How are you feeling? What's the vibes right now, just in general with scheduling and just how exciting this time of year is?
Yeah, it's crazy. Obviously it's hectic and I think it's honestly been the busiest past couple weeks I've been through for a while. So but it's amazing. I mean, every day's an opportunity. So obviously at the beginning of the year we went back and forth from USA camp to back to school. So that was a really unique experience. Obviously haven't done that before in the past. So but just being able to like take those weeks off and go play with the best players in the country, it's awesome. And we don't take that time for granted because it's 1 week a month that we got to get together. But and then yeah, the rivalry series, I mean, that was a blast. So going to that, taking a break and playing some games against Canada was just an absolute blast. You know what you're getting every time you're playing each other. So but yeah, school's been great, obviously grinding, trying to squeeze in all these games and last weekend coming up, but it's been a blast, and I know everyone's itching to get to Italy.
Oh yeah, I think everyone's excited to watch what's about to
Yeah.
unfold. You mentioned the last couple weeks being hectic. I imagine some of that's probably from the viral assist and play that has kind of taken over the hockey world, and rightfully so. So I definitely wanted to start there. When did you first attempt that move? Was that something that you've been pulling off in practice, or was that something that just like in game you're like, I'm just gonna do this?
Yeah, I first attempted the move the Tuesday before Wednesday. Before we played
Okay.
Mankato. So what, 3 days?
Yeah.
3 days before. Did it in practice, obviously. Um, my teammates give me confidence to let me do whatever and be creative, as do my coaches. So it's fun. I like to be creative and try new things. And that was just something that literally just kind of popped into my mind. I said, hey, let's see if this will work. And obviously it worked like partially in practice. Like it wasn't like successful. Like I didn't score off it, got it through legs, but yeah, I mean, pulled up into the game and yeah, it was nuts. I mean, I can't even explain it. Like I thought about doing it probably about the red line when I got the puck. It wasn't, but then after that, when I decided to do it, everything was just there was no thinking. Like it just happened so fast. But I keep telling everyone if Bella Finale doesn't put that in on the back door, though, it's not a viral video. So props to her. She's been such a reliable player for us. So especially as a rookie, it's huge. So. Um, but yeah, just great for my team. I mean they allow me to do that kind of stuff. So it's been a blast.
Did you only do it the one time in practice? Like you're just like one time is enough and then that was it.
Yeah, I've never like that. It's
That's so
like
fun.
literally my first time. But like I flip up the puck, like I
Yeah.
try to like mess around and practice, but no, that was the first time.
Now we
So
talked about like the viralness of it. Was there when you got to just like sit back after the game, I guess, like a few hours have passed and just see how crazy it went? Was there a reaction or like somewhere you saw the goal that just kind of like surprised your kind of you caught your breath just being like, holy crap, like that they're talking about this, or like that's like I was on Sports Center, like whatever kind of reaction that might be?
yeah, obviously after the game you laugh about it, how cool it was and stuff like that. All my friends are telling me it's already here, it's already here.
Yeah.
I mean, how many platforms it reached is incredible. How many different people, company, stuff like that posted it, reposted it, whatever. Um, it was crazy, especially how fast it spread. I mean, my Swedish and Finnish teammates are like, dude, it's on the news in Sweden and Finland, like
That's so
stuff,
cool.
yeah, like stuff like that. But I think the biggest thing for me that came out of it was just the perspective it gives for women's hockey.
Hmm.
Um, it gained a lot of eyes, and it's not just me, it's a lot of other people doing stuff too. So, but I mean, women's hockey deserves a lot more eyes, and I think that was just something little that I obviously can help gain more attention from these viewers. So, but it was incredible, honestly. Like I just watching my Instagram and like seeing it be on like every little thing scrolling, it was just it didn't really feel real. Like it
Yeah.
was it was weird. But I mean, now you have little kids trying to do it and practicing it. So like I said, I'm trying to do my part and trying to grow the game in any way that I can.
I love that perspective on it. It reminded me of like when Merrick Malik tried the between the legs for the first time and everyone was trying it after. And like, honestly, I got in the ice in beer league and warm-ups and I was trying it. And I'm like, can I do this? Can I try and
Yeah,
pull this
right?
off? And no, I definitely can't is the answer. But it's so cool that like it's become, I guess, synonymous with you now, but also like you said, the perspective of just growing the game and getting more eyes on women's hockey is really cool. I'm pretty sure I saw Kevin Fiala try and do it in the Kings Ducks game too. So it's already kind of you're seeing the other players copy the creativity, which is I'm sure super cool sitting in your position as well.
Absolutely. You see that people sending it. It's just, like I said, starting new things is something that you should be proud of. So, um, yeah, full circle moment for sure.
Let's switch gears to the Olympics because that is obviously coming right up beginning of February for you guys. It's going to be exciting. You've been to the Olympics once as a 19-year-old with Team USA. It was a different experience, I'm sure. But is there anything you learned through that experience and going through it already that you're going to take with you into these games that is going to help you in this experience?
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it feels forever ago, obviously, being 19 years old and it was different. Obviously Beijing, there was a lot of weird circumstances with COVID
Hmm.
and everything, but it still took away so much from that. I was a rookie, kind of just being intertwined a little bit here and there. And um, yeah, I mean, I learned like so much and in a different perspective. Like my role back then was a lot different than it is now. Um, and I think that's something that's been really cool to kind of see change throughout the past couple years. So, but yeah, I mean, you have people like Kendall Coyne, Brianna Decker, Hillary Knight, Amanda Kessel, who were at the Beijing Olympics to learn from. Like those are leaders that changed my life personally. I mean, like rooming with Kendall Coyne, just telling me to always be where my feet are, telling me to never take anything for granted, that these are the best moments of your life. So, but those are the people that just quite literally made my experience even better as a 19-year-old because sometimes, I wasn't going out to do something. They'd be like, let's go, like we'll go on a little adventure and stuff like that. So, I'm just extremely grateful for them and the leaders we have truly are the best in the world. So, but yeah, definitely carrying all that into the next Olympics, taking in every little experience. Obviously, my family's going, so um, that's just a feeling that, oh my God, when I walk into the first game and see them all, I'll just probably bawl my eyes out. But it'll be fun, and I think in Italy, just putting your head down and grinding is what's gonna have to happen. So, but really excited.
That's such a cool perspective on it, and very awesome that your family gets to come to this one. You mentioned it, just the different circumstances around the Beijing one maybe didn't make it as full of an experience as this one might feel for you guys. You mentioned maybe like the experiences outside of hockey. What is the Olympic Village like for people that maybe don't get to experience that, that don't know anything about the Olympic Village? Are you going to other events? Is there time to watch other things, or is it kind of like strictly hockey?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me personally, it was different. I think if you ask anyone else who was in the 18 or 2014, how cool those experiences were,
Hmm.
because I know they talked about it a lot about Athletes Village and how fun it was. But yeah, I mean, Beijing was really cool, it was really unique. They had a bunch of um, buildings, obviously, for all the countries. So we were quite intertwined with a lot of people, which was really unique. And um, obviously, you couldn't talk to many people, you couldn't really hang out, but
Fair
we
enough.
had four people to a room, so that was really fun. Obviously, you weren't really alone, so you got to hang out every day and have conversations, play games with that. But there was a little mall area in Beijing underground that was pretty cool. Had some games down there, some little different events, shops. So, I mean, it was a cool experience. I would never say that it stunk or anything like that. You're at the
For sure.
Olympics, like it
Absolutely.
don't matter. Obviously, it was weird, but just still soaked in every little moment. Obviously, after we went to speed skating and figure skating, so that was really cool. Got
That's
to
sweet.
see some, yeah, got to see some cool events. So hopefully gonna be able to watch a lot more in Italy. So.
Love it. I love it. If you weren't playing hockey and like let's say you had to compete or pick like an Olympic event that you would want to try, is there anything that sticks out that you're like, you know what, like I think I could maybe be okay at that. Like I'd love to give it a go.
Oh gosh. Like I think, well, like not that I would be good at it, but like snowboarding or skiing, I
Mm,
think that would be really cool.
yeah.
Like the half pipe,
Oh, that'd
like
be
I
so
think that's
fun.
one of the coolest. Yeah. But like I can't do that. Like and nowhere nowhere near it. So, but I think that is a really cool sport and I love to watch it.
There we go. That's all that matters. And if you
Yes,
give it a try, I
exactly.
mean, maybe don't try it before
We
the
don't need to
Olympics,
try.
we don't need to try it yet. That could be like a post-career thing when whenever you retire long, long
Exactly.
down the road, you can get into
Yeah.
snowboarding after.
Not anytime soon for sure.
Exactly. We got to talk Canada USA, obviously, because it's Canada USA, and I imagine everyone is just kind of like penciling that in as the gold medal game already, even though obviously, and I'm sure you've seen it since playing internationally, like a ton of the other programs feel like they're progressing each year, and it's not just becoming like Canada USA all the time. Although obviously it's easy to just pencil that in as being the top two, but. You've played against Canada a ton. Do you have like a welcome to the rivalry moment in your mind that sticks out to you of just playing against Canada and the storied history of the rivalry that these two countries have in women's hockey?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know how many rivalry games I've been in, but it's been quite a lot. So, but I think one of my favorite ones was in Missouri or St. Louis, and there was a brawl. Danny Cameron got hit, and then I just went in to just destroy someone because I was like, you don't mess with my teammate. I was obviously very young again. I think I was 18 at the time. I think this was leading up to Beijing. So, I was trying to figure out my role, what I was supposed to do. But, um, I mean, yeah, obviously not looking ahead to the gold medal game, taking
Hmm.
it game by game, and every country's going to give you a run for your money. But that rivalry with Canada is just like nothing I've ever witnessed before and experienced. Like you line up at the face-off dot and it's like blood in the water. Like it is just like there's one winner and that's it. But how competitive, how aggressive it is truly one of the best things ever. And playing in those games is like a different feeling because you're playing for your country. Obviously, you got a country behind you that's supporting you, but you're also doing it for your teammates. Everyone else is going to give everything they absolutely have. So, just playing in those games is just, oh my gosh, like it really is the best time ever.
I think it's the best rivalry in hockey. Like every game is so intense. Every game is so meaningful. I know you like to trash talk. I think your teammates have long said that about you, is that you love to trash talk. You play not only a super skilled style of game, but you like to mix it up and are not afraid to do that. Is there anyone on Canada that you just love trying to get under their skin if you can, having played them a bunch?
Everyone, there's
That
not,
no one is immune to it.
no, I obviously don't specify myself only as a trash talker,
Hmm.
but it is something that it just happens. If someone's hot, you're gonna go and try to get under their skin.
Yeah.
Like anything you can do to make them angry, get them off their game, something, and like if my teammates tell me to go do it, I'm gonna go do it. Like I I do whatever it takes, obviously for my country, but finding that fine line between it's also so important. But I think something more that gets under like other team's skin is just like being an agitator, but in a different way, like just like suffocating them and not letting them do anything. You're on them at all times, kind of just being annoying. It's not always the trash talk. It's sometimes just the player you are and how you skate and stuff like that. And one of the best ways for me is just to score goals and put pucks in the net.
Mhm.
I know my teammates feel the same way, so but it's really exciting because I mean the Olympics is just a whole nother level. So we'll see how it goes. But another thing is just people don't know who I really am. Obviously you see a different side of me as a hockey player, but I'm really not that bad, I swear.
I don't even
Uh,
think it's bad. I
yeah,
think it's one of those things, like you said, if you can, I think the best kind of version of it is like you get to talk trash and then you get to fill the other team's net with goals
yeah.
and play a style where you are, like you said, just always on them, not giving them any space. And like I can out physical you, but I can also outskill you anytime I want, and I'm gonna let you know about it. Like that's the perfect combination in my mind.
Yeah, I mean it's fun.
Yeah.
You have your teammates support and it makes it much easier, to do to obviously be who you are and the player you are and just play free, not really thinking as much. So,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I love it. Hey, and the best version of yourself is when you can play free and be who you are. And it seems like you get to do that, which is a ton of fun. It's going to be Hillary Knight's last Olympics, which is, it just feels so crazy that that's even a thing. Do you have a story or a memory when people ask you just about like playing with Hillary? Is there something that's going to come to mind for you down the line, and not even right now, but like when people ask about like what was it like playing with Hillary Knight, or like is there a memory that you have of her that you'll never forget, or it'll be like the first one you tell people when you're trying to talk about her impact and what she's meant to the game and meant to you and all of those kinds of things?
Yeah, oh my gosh. I mean, I don't even know where to start with Hillary. I think you look back at when I first came upon the national team, and I think that was probably one of my favorite experiences. Obviously, she was someone I looked up to ever since watching the Olympics and that but I'm not really sure where my first game was with her or where, but I met her a while back at I played for the Chicago Mission,
Okay.
and they were in town and she came into our locker room and obviously met her, got a picture, and that was a super cool moment. Obviously send that picture to her back and forth all the time, so it's really funny. But
That's
um,
amazing.
yeah, it's a good picture. So, anyways, but going back to obviously my first national team game, and I think that was the coolest experience was just playing next to her, sitting next to her in the locker room and just like that was my dream, was to be on the national team and go win a gold medal, stuff like that. But Hillary has done so much for women's hockey that I mean, it wouldn't be where it is today. Obviously, her and Kendall, but I mean, it's just to see where she's gone. Obviously, 5 Olympics is ridiculous. I mean, who does that?
Crazy.
Like, yeah, I mean, she's insane, but it shows you like she puts her head down and works, like she's dedicated, she's passionate to this sport, and you can tell every single day that she just like is in love with it, and for me every day, like getting the opportunity to play with her, like you know what you're getting from her. You know, Hillary Knight's Hillary Knight. She's gonna play badass hockey every single day. So, I mean, it's just it's a really cool moment being able to obviously be on this journey, especially with role models that I looked up to since I was what 10, 12 years old. You know, it's just I'm just grateful and blessed, honestly.
Badass is like the perfect way to describe
Yeah,
her. I feel like
literally.
she's so cool and like so funny, but also just will like rip your heart out at the same time. And it's just like, yeah, it's like you said, what she's done for the game has been incredible to watch. And um, I hope for you guys and for her, it's the send off that obviously she's envisioning in her mind, going off with a gold medal to end the Olympics. The
Yeah.
new wave that you guys have kind of come in with is really cool to you mentioned it like when you got on the team when you were 18, 19 years old to see it now and like how many college players are playing for the national team and you're like the next wave of players that are going to be synonymous with USA women's hockey. And when you think about that, I guess like has that hit you at all? Does that like do you allow yourself to think of like because I guess like yeah, this is Hillary's last Olympics and like she's not going to be playing with the national team for a whole lot longer or Kendall or whatever. Eventually, you guys are kind of like taking the mantle. Does that ever enter your mind or do you not allow it to kind of get to that point yet?
Not yet. They run
Yeah,
the show.
that's
They
fair.
run the show.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
You know, they run it. It's their team and we are obviously just doing our thing. But yeah, I mean it's cool to kind of see that perspective of it. How many girls we have in college, obviously working our way up there, but I mean just the group of leaders that we have on our team and that obviously not older but more experienced
hmm
group is so cool. You know, I wish everyone could see the way that they lead every single day for our group. It's just it's something different. You know, everyone gets together, we're connected. Um, just we're always laughing, having so much fun, and obviously for us younger kids, we're just learning from them. You know, we're taking every little bit of thing they teach us just for our future and the long journey that we're going to be on. But um, yeah, going to be really fun.
Well, the program's in great hands now, and it's going to be in great hands in the future for sure
It
with
is great.
the likes of you and everyone coming up. I'll end this with a segment we like to call 3 stars. So I'm just going to give you a few things. It's like a top three in some categories. You've scored a ton of incredible goals. Like I was just on YouTube watching so many goals going down a wormhole the last week just in preparation for this, and just like every goal you score seems like a highlight reel goal. But what are your 3 favorite goals you've scored in your career?
I mean, I don't even like remember. Like, um, there was one in 2021, I want to say.
Okay.
Um, it was in the WCHA final against Ohio State.
Okay.
Taylor Heisey got the puck at the blue line, kind of curved around, and I was coming through hard through the slot, gave me a pass, tipped it in, and I think it was 3-1. But we ended up winning the WCHA, the league tournament, and obviously, anyway, it's a team sport, you know, so that was just such a cool, obviously, moment scoring that goal and going up by 2 or 3, whatever it was, but playing with players like Taylor Heisey and Grace Unwinkle and all them was just makes it even better. But other one, probably my slap shot and empty net. Probably have to do that one. That was pretty fun. You know, something
Yep.
different. Um, the third one, oh gosh. Oh, the
The
one against
outdoor
my
game one
oh, the
was
outdoor
pretty
game one was
electric.
fun. Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
The atmosphere too, like being out there in the cold, the wind in your face hurting so bad, you know.
Yep.
But it was a really that was a cool goal. That was really fun.
The
Maybe I'll
jerseys
put that one
too.
on there.
Like the
Yeah, our
jerseys were
jerseys were
so sick.
so sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll put those three.
Okay.
Put
I like
those three.
it. It's a pretty impressive list. It's a pretty impressive list. I would take
Thank
it
you.
against anyone else that I've seen, that's for sure. Let's
Oh,
go with 3 things you're obsessed with right now outside of hockey.
ooh.
Could be
I'm obs
shows, music, movies, hobbies, whatever has just caught your interest outside of hockey right now.
I'm obsessed with my dog Lucy.
Love that. What kind of dog
She
is Lucy?
she's a pit
Oh,
bull. She's
Lucy.
perfect. She's my most prized possession. I got her during COVID. Actually bought her for $200. So,
Oh,
fun fact.
Lucy.
Lucy, she's perfect. Oh, I love to watch movies with my teammates. They come over here and it's like designated movie time,
Love it.
so that's really fun. Um,
Any movies in particular that you guys, is it always new movies or you just
New
watch a re
movies.
okay, okay.
We
What's
watched
caught?
Footloose though last week and that was really good.
It's a good one. It's a good
Yeah,
one.
very good. So, um,
Classic.
classic, I know.
Classic.
Um, three. Gosh, that's a great question. My weighted stuffed animal.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Okay.
I sleep with him every night.
What kind of animal is
He's a dinosaur.
it? Love that. That's exceptional. As a kid that grew up with like dinosaur books and stuffed animals that my parents could not get out of my
Yeah,
hands, I can totally appreciate that.
it's not weird, I swear.
It's
Like
not
it's
at all. No.
no.
I have like a little, I guess Yoshi's a dinosaur from Super Mario, so
Yeah,
I've got
there
one
you
of those in
go.
my
There
hey,
you go.
whatever helps you sleep at night. That's all that matters.
I
And then the
agree.
the last one I'll go with here is your three favorite USA hockey jerseys.
Oh, I mean, one, obviously these ones coming up, they're
These ones
so
are
sick.
so sick.
Yeah, so sick. I really like the NTDP ones. They had oh gosh, I forgot which ones they were. Yeah, those ones.
Those ones
Yeah,
are
those are cool.
sweet.
Yeah, those ones are cool.
Those ones are really cool.
Yeah, I like those. And
Okay.
then third, I'll probably go with the ones that were in Beijing. It was just a little different. Had USA not slanted, but just straight in the middle of the chest. Obviously, we had three colors. We had white, navy, and then like that royal blue.
Mm.
Those are pretty. Those are pretty cool.
And
Definitely.
first Olympic experience. So like
Yeah.
that
Oh
one's
yeah.
always gonna mean a little
100%.
more.
You gotta put it on the list.
You gotta
Absolutely.
put it on the list. The
Absolutely.
ones this year are so so nice.
Yeah, we are so excited
Yeah.
to rep them. Like they are,
Oh
like
my
we
gosh.
saw them, obviously got surprised and I think it was Michigan. Got to take pictures with them and we're like, no way.
Yeah.
Like these are neat. So it'll be fun. We're really excited.
It's going to be an incredible Olympics. It's going to be an incredible end to the college season, and an incredible career for you going forward. I hope this isn't the last time we speak. I'm sure our paths will cross at some point soon. But all the best in the Olympics, the rest of the college season, and we'll be cheering you on. Even though we're Canadian, we will be cheering you on, wishing nothing but the best for you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much and I appreciate it. Thank you for having me.
I am with the man, the myth, the legend, Macklin Celebrini. Macklin, how you doing, man?
Good, Jesse. How are you?
Hey, good, man. Great to see you. I think this is the third time we've chatted, so it's always a pleasure. I just want to start off by saying congratulations on making Team Canada's roster. Incredibly impressive, and I just got to hear it, man. I know you've been asked a couple times, but I want a play-by-play of how you found out that you made Team Canada. Where were you? Who were you with? And who was the first person you called?
I was waking up for my 1 o'clock game. I was getting ready because, I think they call us pretty early, so I was getting ready for the game and obviously got the call. Excitement, joy, nervous, all going through it, and then I just called my parents after and told them.
That's awesome, man. And I got to ask, I know that you are friendly with some Golden State Warriors players. Did you hear anything from any of them about making the team?
I didn't get any texts or anything, but my dad was talking to them, so they relayed the message.
Yeah, not a big deal. Look, man, you're the youngest player on the team, and I got a bit of a different question here. If you could play on a line with two players that have represented Team Canada at the Olympics who are not on this year's team, who are two players that come to mind?
It's a good question.
Putting you on the spot here.
Probably, yeah. Probably Gretzky and Lemieux.
That's a pretty solid duo right there.
Pretty obvious. Yeah, yeah.
There you go. Understandable. Look, man, no secret that you and Will Smith have become such good buddies, and it's great. It seems like you guys are like bros. Is there one story that people might not know about Will that you have that's pretty funny that comes to mind?
Oh, put me on the spot again. I mean, anytime we have to go somewhere, he's pretty bad with directions, so it's pretty funny. I mean, there's a bunch of different stories, but.
So he just gets lost. Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah.
What about Jumbo? What
Gets
about
us lost.
What about Joe Thornton? Like, what's it been like getting to know him since you moved to San Jose? Any cool stories with him?
I mean, nothing that I'd really like to share. I mean, him and his family just been so great to me. So, I mean, every day is great when I'm with them.
That's awesome. And I got to ask you about something too, man. Your little brother is having quite the season right now, RJ. So would you be able to just kind of talk about his game? Are you guys similar players? And what to expect from him in the future?
Yeah, he's a centerman. He's I think he watches some of my games and tries to model his game kind of similarly to me. I think he might be a little bit more offensive though.
He might be more offensive, hey? That's
Yeah, he's a stud.
Sorry, man, my eye beef out there, but I had to I think that kind of startled me. I was like, more offensive than you. That's all right. We'll have to keep our eyes on him. But Macklin, very impressive, man, that you're making Team Canada. Have the best time. Enjoy it. Enjoy playing with all these great players, and good luck out there, man.
Thanks a lot, Jesse. I appreciate it.